Alrighty then, g'day guys, and welcome. My name is Michael, and I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer, and welcome to Pathfinder Ruby Phoenix, our Pathfinder 2nd Edition adventure that features these people, where am I? There, these people, who are my wonderful Patreons, who support the channel, help me keep the lights on, and of course allow me to enjoy this wonderful, wonderful medium of tabletop role-playing games so early on a Friday morning. First of all, I would like to give a very special shout out and thank you to Hops and Dragons, who have just had me on their channel doing a podcast talking about all things D&D. If you are wondering why I'm talking so loudly or so fast today, you can watch that video and figure out why. Or you can figure it out from the name, one or the other. In any case, I'm very excited to be here, and I hope my players are too. But before we kick off, I would like for you guys to get to know... well, actually, you know what? We've got a little bit of time. So, before we get started, I would like to invite everyone to check out a number of rewards that we have for you guys to interact with the stream over the course of the day. As you guys know, the Dead Aussie Gamer stream is not a one-man show. It is not something that is just me role-playing with these guys and you guys just watching. There is a bunch of ways for you to interact with the show as we play. Through either channel points or potentially through donations, you can influence the course of the game. And we have done some things over time. Ira Janasi dumped, I want to say, like 6 werewolves on yes, like 6 werewolves onto my poor Curse of Strahd team. Not that she wasn't baited or anything like that, but anyway, yeah, you can do a whole bunch of different stuff. So for $5, you can give a hero or jinx points to either the players or the GM. For $10, you can grant the players a wheel or woe, which will allow them to suddenly turn an encounter in their favor or against it. For $20, you can give one of the players a natural 20, which means they don't need to roll, they just get a nat 20. Or for the grand prize of $50, you can create a custom magic item, or gift a magic item, or buff a boss that the group is fighting for the course of the session. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Now, without any further ado, let's get to know the cast. Let's get to figure out who these wonderful people are, starting with none other than the wonderful and delightful Nick, playing the role of Hatsune. Good morning.
Morning.
How are we this morning?
Good.
Excellent, excellent. Tell us about your character Hatsune, please.
Hatsune is a dwarven sumo wrestler who has broken stereotype by being female and is currently trying to insert herself into the sumo world and is looking for opportunities to prove her abilities and to bring honor to her stable.
Fantastic. And you've only got like one other student in your stable, don't you?
Yeah. Her fellow colleague or student is a bear.
Yep, a bear. Not an awakened bear, just a bear. Just a bear, a wild bear that wandered in and started eating food and has since become a member of the dojo, which is, I think, like the coolest thing about your dojo. All right, next up, of course, on our big list of wonderful people is none other than Rick, playing the role of Liu, the Tengu. Good morning, Rick.
Morning, Michael.
All right, tell us a little bit about Liu, if you would.
Yeah, I play Changbi Liu. He is a Tengu monk who came down from his remote village in the mountains to compete in an earlier tournament many years ago, only to be humiliated. He failed, at least in his own eyes, particularly badly, and has since sort of degraded himself, drinking heavily, wandering from gutter to gutter, and making a living by getting his face beaten to a pulp at various minor tournaments. He is, I think, gradually moving towards redeeming himself. He has this thing going on with Mistress Suki at one of the local ale houses where he's trying to raise himself in her eyes, at least. So that's an encouraging start, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Well, let's see what this blossoms into over time, shall we? I think there's something there. Maybe. Who knows? Next up, of course, playing the role of Kaito is our dear friend Sean, or Random as he is known in chat. Good morning, Sean. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, and I play as Kaito. He's a water sorcerer kitsune, um, who has been living on the streets for almost his entire life, getting into various problems, relying on his pangolin uh, sort of father figure that works at a tea shop. And yeah, he's trying to, make a life for himself, but it's not easy when you're poor.
No, no, it is not. And of course, you've got some rather hairy villains on your tail, don't you?
Oh yeah, we've got. Well, I feel like some of that also came from Taisho.
Well, that's true. That's true. But Taisha's not here.
True, but yeah.
And a former member of these particularly villainous individuals is none other than our next player, which is, of course, as he is known in chat, Captain Malik, who is playing the role of Taisho. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us about Taisho and, of course, his connection to the adventure thus far.
Taisho is an Oni who is part of a syndicate, for want of a better word, of other Oni that exist in the island that takes place of where the Ruby Phoenix takes place. And he was set a task by the daimyo that said, there is among our mists. I need you to find them. And Taisho was only too willing to find that, and was, I'm not going to say nearly died in the process, but he caused a lot of death around him, and has this desire to stamp out what he perceives as weakness and patheticness within Kaito, and very, 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 very much respects Hatsune, and still has yet to figure out what he thinks about Liu. But we'll find out. We'll figure that out eventually.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Hatsune, Nick wasn't here last week, but for the record, there was a big fight, a big battle with some giant, nasty troll hounds, and Hatsune slapped the ever-living crap out of them. Like, it was like, yeah, like basically everyone else was like, oh no, these things are gonna die, and Taisho's like, crit, die, and then he's like, oh man, are these guys really fighters? And then Hatsune's like, wham! In the ground, and then it was awesome. It was very cool. It was very cool. If you haven't
everyone
seen
else
the
was
VOD,
crit failing, and Hatsune and Taisho were crit succeeding.
Yeah, that was basically.
Never
All right.
Mess with the rock. Never mess with a rock wolf.
No, do not. All right. So, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us take our characters back as you find yourselves once again deep within the city of Goka, having recently escaped from the terrible clutches of the Oni daimyo and the villainous enforcers that now scour the city for you. Our heroes pick up at a small tea shop. There, a very old and elderly pangolin by the name of Yinlo is serving them tea and hearing of the weary travels of each of our heroes. Now, you had mentioned that you wish to get stronger. This Taisho, you are indeed quite large and strong. But why travel with others against your own people?
I travel not against my own people. I travel to find those that would betray our people, not against.
A hard road indeed. It must be difficult to trust others when you seek those who would betray those closest to you.
What are you trying to say?
Strength is not always in the body, but can be found in the mind and soul as well. He offers to take your teacup and saucer that he had given you now that you have finished drinking the very herbal tea.
Yeah, Taisho is holding this teacup. He's holding the teacup as lightly as he can, absolutely terrified to crush it. And the saucer, he hasn't got a clue as to what to do. They sort of he holds it with the teacup and then he pulls it away and he holds it with the cup. He hasn't got a clue what to do with it, but he's holding this like that, and he kind of he sort of offers it out, afraid that he's going to drop it and smash the teacup because he hasn't got the clue how to do it, how to deal with this very fragile item.
Oh. You've been silenced, I think, Michael.
Goddamn tiny silence, wizard! All right. Anyway, first of all, before we get any further in, guys, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you and to welcome, of course, the Hops and Dragons crew. Welcome in, you wonderful, beautiful bloody bastards. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you guys are having an amazing time. Please sit back, relax, unwind, and enjoy. Our group of heroes have just found themselves at a tea shop, having escaped from some Oni criminals that ran an underground fight club. Kaito had basically brought in Hatsune, a dwarven sumo, and Liu, a Tengu monk, into a fighting arena in order to do battle. However, it turns out that they were only there for sport, to be murdered. Taisho, who was also scheduled to be murdered, managed to stage a elaborate breakout with Hatsune, Liu, and Kaito, and they now have found refuge in a small tea shop run by a giant pangolin man named Yinlo, who is Kaito's surrogate father. The group is currently here discussing their next course of action. Now, guys, if you are in the audience and you have just joined us, there are a number of things that I want to tell you. First of all is welcome, and second is there are a number of ways that you can interact with the game live, because I don't like shows that you just get to sit there and watch. So, if you would like to, not only can you donate to the stream in order to gain a variety of different effects that will impact the game, you can also give out your channel points to generate plot twists and a whole bunch of different things. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff. Go check it out. It's all there. And if you have any questions, leave it in chat, because we're watching. All right. Apologies. So, getting back into this. So, Taisho, as you hold out the teacup, fragile in your hands covered in thick calluses that kind of risk shattering this very fragile item, you hand it over to the pangolin. And for the very first time, you recognize something you didn't see before, just because of the manner in which this individual held themselves. His hands are thicker than yours. And instead of fingers, there are these immense and vicious-looking claws. And the backs of his hands are covered in these serrated scales that interlock and almost look like shears as he twists his wrists and clicks them together. Yet, as he takes the cup, he does so incredibly delicately and with no problem at all. He then turns with a soft smile across his long muzzle as he then collects the cups from each of you. Kaito, I have told you many times that there will be a time when you will need to leave the city, leave this place, with the Oni Daimyo shortly following. I think this time has found you. I do not know you, friends, but I thank you for looking after my son. He is very dear to me, and I have watched him grow. Though we are not related by blood, I wish all the fortune upon him, and it may be selfish of me, but I must ask if you would do me one favor. He reaches into the stall and presents a large box. It is wooden and thick, with several jade inlets. As he opens it up, there are 5 scrolls. If strength is what you seek, and is what will get you to safety, then I would present you with these. He hands the scrolls forward. Whomever wishes to may collect them from him.
Yeah, Kaido wipes a tear from his eye and then takes one and then it kind of hugs him a little bit and he's like, I won't let you down this time, I promise.
As you take the scrolls, you see that each of them are older than maybe even your father. And each are emblazoned with a symbol that represents the great elements: air, fire, water, metal, and wood. As he hands them to you, he says, these masters exist throughout the lands of Tianxia, and if you were to present them with this scroll, they will teach you what they know. As he is about to continue, however, suddenly there's the sound of an eagle crying in the air and drums rising from inside the stalls. You hear the sounds of shouting, people suddenly moving away. Get out of the way! Move! They came through here, I'm certain of it!
Looks like it's time for us to go.
Well, I need each of you to make me a perception check now as you go to move.
How do I do that?
If you look on your character sheet,
That's something I can do.
if you look on your character sheet, on the right-hand side of the actual sheet itself, there should be main, combat, and then skills.
Yep.
Yep. Cool.
Where am I?
All right.
So, yeah, so I'm in main at the moment. And then what do I do?
On the right-hand side, you should see a series of tabs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which one do I choose?
Skills.
Right. Oh.
And then perception.
Yeah, then you grab like this like red thing and like drag it.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually also just click the perception dice mid-left on the main page.
Okay. And there's a
Oh.
red thing?
Yep.
In skills. And then on perception. And then what do I do?
Drag and drop it in the chat box. All right.
What chat
What? The box with all the dice numbers and stuff like that.
I don't know where that is.
On the left-hand side. You should be able to see, like, it's a big box with, like, everyone's rolls on it.
Oh, right. Hang on. I need to make that bigger.
Okay. While we are waiting for that, Laura Bones has claimed a plot twist. So, with a plot twist, after 5,000 channel points, I draw 2 cards from this deck of plot twists. And Laura, you get to pick which one gets into effect today. We have the road most traveled, or... Oh dear. Lust. Wow.
I don't think it worked, Michael.
Okay.
It did not. Try double clicking your total on there on the on perception.
The total.
Yeah. All right. So just to show everyone in chat. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a good chance to talk about our sponsor, Fantasy Grounds. Fantasy Grounds is our virtual tabletop of choice. And yes. Oh, there you go. You've got it there. But yes. Yep. So you'd have on your right-hand side, you'd have your skills. And then what you would do is you would look at your total of your skill and you would simply drag and it would pull the dice out. And then you just drop that in the chat. All right. And there you go. All right. So, as you guys are looking around, Taisho and Kaito, you turn your attention upwards to the sky. You hear there is a call that has come out, a screeching sound, and you notice that there is a eagle flying in the air. But there's something unusual about this eagle. It doesn't seem to be feathers or a bird at all, but it seems to be a very intricate ink painting in the form of a bird. As it calls out, you hear, "Surround them! He's over there!" And very quickly, the sounds of more footsteps begin to get closer. All right, you have 1 round to do something before the encounter begins. What would you guys like to do?
Is there a way to exit? Like I look for another entrance that's not just the main entrance.
Unfortunately, there is not. The places here are quite cramped. There are 2 exits, one to the north and one to the west, but both ways seem to have the sound of people coming down that direction.
Liu will turn to the pangolin. Get inside, master. There's no need for you to be involved in this.
The pangolin moves inside and sort of sits very, very heavily on one of these stools in the inside of the shop. Tamaki says, "I'll look after the pangolin."
Oh.
Because he's not here yet. He's not here today.
But yeah, I'll shout out, "We'll come quietly if you don't destroy anything in this shop."
Taisho completely ignores that and completely ignores that. Draws one of his what are they called?
Scimitar?
Draws one of his javelins from his back and will throw it at the paper eagle in the sky.
Ah, very nice. Okay, I'm just going to move the eagle over to you so that you can target it. But yes, you may do so. As you take hold of your javelin, you take aim, your left hand kind of guiding your shot as you loose the javelin. Make your attack and drop it on the eagle if you can. All right, that'll hit. The eagle is struck dead center. Roll your damage as your javelin pierces it. Nice.
That is a 6.
All right.
10.
A rain of ink suddenly pours out of the sky, dyeing the ground in the same kind of blackish paint. It now covers your body as well as you've thrown this javelin. And we are going to go into initiative, which has already been rolled. So we are starting with Hatsune. All right, you see the battlefield as you can see before you. The only thing you cannot see is this guy who has not shown up yet. There you go.
Please keep this fight out of the shop.
I'm just going to take mountain stance and wait to see what comes, actually.
All right. Keeping in mind, you do have 3 actions if you want to do anything else. So taking mountain stance will be a single action. You could also take a defensive stance as well if you would like to boost up your AC.
Yep, I'd like to do that because I've got no idea what's coming. So I'd like to just,
All right, not a problem.
Mountain stance and leave that. Thanks.
All right, planting your feet in the ground. You prepare yourself for whatever is to come. Taisho, it is now your turn. You can see in the distance there are several Oni making their way towards you quite rapidly.
Seeing the fact that they are Oni, Taisho is he doesn't he doesn't particularly care about his current compatriots right at this present moment in time. He just sees Oni that are coming to attack him, and he's pissed off. So he's going to rage up as a result of this.
Nice.
And charge the nearest dude.
All right. Okay, you rage. Now, when you rage, you get a bunch of bonuses, don't you?
Yes, I gain a +2 to my well, actually I gain a +3 to my melee strikes, but my AC is down by -1, which I think is automatically done.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Does it get done?
And not sure.
No. We'll need
I think it
to
does.
create an effect for it, but that's fine.
Right.
Okay, but yeah. Oh no, yeah, no, it
yeah,
is done.
and
No,
it's-
that's cool. That is done.
Oh, it is done.
Sweet.
Perfect. And it's an additional 3 because of my particular type of barbarian. My barbarian is a spiritual one, and therefore his rage is increased by an additional point.
Yep, not a problem.
So yeah, he is absolutely fuming at this and believes that these four characters are all traitors, and so he's just going to should dive straight forward to the ones he can see.
All right, you rush straight forward, and as you see these Oni, you stop for a moment. You notice something unusual about them. Their bodies are still covered in armor, but their faces, their whole personalities, they entirely look as though they're made of ink, like they're painted portraits.
He's going to worry about that later. He's simply going to.
Yep.
He's simply just going to start slashing these guys to ribbons if he can manage it.
All right, go for it.
Kill him
So I
now,
believe it's
sort him
only
out
one
later.
attack because I believe it's only one attack because I've raged and moved. Correct.
That is correct. Your ranged javelin attack was in the surprise action.
Gotcha.
All right.
That's on the guy nearest to me.
Could you drop it on him?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, 18. That is a hit. As you manage to drag your blade across the Oni warrior's chest.
Oh no, not the javelin scimitar.
All right. It sinks in deep,
So that's
and some of the
10.
yeah, as it sinks in deep, some of the blood begins to pour from the Oni. Sorry, you said 10, did you? Because it's an
It's
extra
10
for
because
the...
it's the extra one, yeah.
Yeah. So down the bottom left, you've got modifier, so you can add +1 to that one if you need to for your damage. Yeah, but make sure you do it when you roll your
Yeah, will
damage.
do.
All right. So you've moved. You've taken out your you've attacked with your scimitar, and then you drew your scimitar. Yeah, so that would be your 3 because you had your javelin before. All right. Tamaki is staying low now. Emerging from the back of what looks to be a carriage, looks to be a dwarven man. With a large red beard tied into a plait, and what looks to be a magistrate's kind of hat placed upon his head. He looks in your direction and says, "I do not think you understand the trouble that you are in. I am Umbaku, and I have been told to bring you in dead or alive, and I do not care which. Surrender now!" Is there a response from anyone?
Where would you be taking us exactly?
Kaito, appreciate. Friend Ombaku, you seem to know something of the situation. We're marked for death by the Oni Daimyo and their cronies. If we go with you, we won't emerge from the jail cell. Stand aside, this is not justice.
Justice. That is not a word for the kind that you are. As he says that, he kind of seems to be referring to the fact that you're a kind of a squalidly drunk, homeless person with no honor.
Oh, believe me, I know. I know. I've lived in this town long enough.
Oh yeah.
I had to try.
Okay. So he will take the opportunity, and as he does so, he basically just starts to pull out what looks to be this huge iron paintbrush, and basically just begins to draw a line in the sand next to him, saying that you will not escape. And that is all he does. Kaito, it is now your turn. Now, bear in mind, your character is still doomed.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you haven't rested yet, so your character is still doomed. So if you go down, you start on dying 3.
Yeah.
Just as an FYI. I mean, feel free to rush in if you want, but
Oh no, I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna draw my own line in the sand, and stay back where I am. I'm going to grease up the floor in front of him. So if they walk on it, they slip and fall.
ooh, very nice, very very nice. All right.
I love it. He's drawing an ink line. You're messing it up with grease.
So where are you drawing it? Like just directly in front of him?
So yeah, I mark 4 squares. So I'm gonna do kind of like 4 squares in front of him. I wish I could actually like.
No, well, have a look at my screen. I've got the thing there.
Oh yeah. Let me see that real quick.
Oh, actually, hang on. Let's I can. Let's go. What color is a grease? Grease is like that color, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say so. Like
There you go.
old
Alright.
grease.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So grease.
Yep. So kind of like a square, like a
Yeah, where do you wanna start the
2 by
square?
2 square.
Pick one.
Right there.
Yeah, right there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then where?
And then to the right.
Yep.
I'm assuming that's just regular rock and ground, and then below both of those.
All right. Very well. It's beautiful. Oh yeah, it's so nice. It's so smooth.
But yeah, so if they walk in that, they have to do a reflex or an acrobatics save against my spell DC, or fall prone. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, is guidance? Let's see here.
Stop it. Give me my cursor back. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. You have your grease there.
And also, since that's only 2 actions, my 3rd action I'll toss guidance on Taisho, so he has a +1 bonus to hit until the next turn.
All right, very well. Did you hear that, Taisho? Fantastic. Yep. All right, next up are the Oni Warriors. The Oni Warriors begin to move. The first one goes 15, 20, 25. So he is going to get slowed if he gets hit by that, and he's going to need to make a reflex save to avoid slipping over. So, Oni Warrior, reflex save. All right, that is a 21 on a reflex save. How do you do?
I don't know actually where to find my spell DC or my spell DC. Oh wait, I know where to look for it. It would be. Yes, he's fine. Yeah, my spell DC is 16, I think. If I'm looking at that right. Yep, yeah, so he passed.
You're muted again, Michael.
So he is going to step forward and swat at Liu with his sword. But even though it is a sword, it is just a slam attack, if that makes sense, because it is also made of ink, which it is also made of ink. As it swings, that is 6 points of damage, followed by a miss as the second attack is deftly dodged by the nimble Tengu. The second Oni warrior, 5, 10, 15, 20. 20 can go there. 25 can move to there. He is also going to make a reflex save. Let's see how he does. That is a 17 on his reflex save.
Dang it. Just barely.
Oh, unfortunate. The second... Oof. Also... Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah, also manages to get close and hit Liu for 7 damage. And with one final attack... will miss. Oh man, those numbers as basically this Oni with a ink-colored blade just starts swinging left and right. Liu, you're kind of moving and swaying, dodging the attacks as they brush past you. But you've been hit twice. Large bruises appearing where they've managed to connect. These two Oni here look in your direction and move to flank simultaneously on Taisho. Now, Taisho, as you can see these two Oni, it is very difficult to get a beat on either of them as they start to flank you, and they draw their large and vicious ink swords. So that is a move action, and then they're going to do their first attack, which is at a bonus because they are flanking. All right. Taisho's first hit is a critical hit. Oof. Taisho takes 14 points of damage as the first one manages to hit you in the back of the skull. There is this massive crack that comes down, and there is ink mixed with blood that splatters on the floor. Now, as this happens... guys, I would like to give a very special shout out and thank you to Aya Janasi, who has just tipped $20. Who, my dear, gets the natural 20 from you today? Let me know who gets the nat 20. All right. As for your critical hit, Taisho, 1 to 5. What do you want?
3.
3. Here we go. Bludgeoning, Thunderstrike. The target is deafened. So as the ink blade crashes into your helmet, there is this god-awful ringing sound. As it does so, it shakes and shudders the helmet, and you are indeed deafened until you are healed. There we go.
He yelps. Well, he doesn't really yelp. He sort of roars in pain.
All right. To Taisho, because he sent the Royal Navy to my rescue, says Aya Janasi.
Thank you.
All right. Very well. We shall bear with me while I very quickly give Taisho his token. There we go. Dag tokens. Nat 20. Bum, 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 bum. There you go. You may redeem that at any point in time in order to gain in order to have effectively rolled a natural 20. Thank you kindly for your generosity. All right. The second attack that the Oni makes. Oof, does not manage to hit. This time, you kind of are ready for it, and you draw out your saber as ching, you kind of hit the inky blade. But you also turn your back on the warrior behind you, who makes a bid to try and hit you from behind. And once again, another hit manages to smack you directly in the skull for another 6 points of damage. Oof. Oof. All right. This time, as your blade is like holding the one that was still coming towards you, the one that hit you in the back now hits you a second time. You can't pull the sword away in order to defend. They're kind of pressing you from both sides. As you then take 7 damage from that one. All right.
Ow.
Which brings us to Liu.
Liu will stagger back from the first attack and look to be almost falling on his heels, entering his own particular stumbling stance, and then he'll just swiftly reverse momentum and flow back into an attack.
All right, very
so
nice.
In practical terms, entering stumbling stance, feint, and then flurry of blows.
All right, nice. A mixture of sways, feints, and flurries suddenly fly towards these two inky creatures. Roll your... so do you need to do anything to feint first? All right. With a deception of 20, you succeed and manage to flat-foot the creature in front of you.
Okay, so I get +2 on my first attack roll in.
Nice, yep.
So that's a 24, and I think that'll hit. So
That'll
first
absolutely hit.
damage.
All right. As you swing around, you use your right hook and manage to smack some of the paint off his face. This inky creature's jaw is now kind of... It almost looks like a smear, like, you know, when you kind of smudge a painting, as you've sort of hit it in the face.
The ink blends nicely with Liu's black feathers.
Ooh, yeah. Yes,
Can't notice the difference.
All right. So that's your feign, your attack, and then your second attack. Wham! Oh, this one's nice.
Flurry of blows on a 20.
All right. As your first attack hits, what they don't expect is when your right hand swings outwards, your left hand has ducked past and now also swings out. So this is what we call the rolling... it's basically a rolling attack. Rolling punches is where you kind of start swinging both punches in a circular motion. You just basically just start clocking him one after the other with a very surprising array of hits, dealing a total of 8 damage to the warrior. It is definitely disoriented. Absolutely disoriented. As we then return to the top of the round and Hatsune.
I think I'm just too far away to go and help Taisho, so I might step up and hit one of the Oni, pointing and you can't see. One of the Oni up near this, in front of the smear, because I only got 20 movement.
10, 20. Yes, you would be slightly far away. But keeping in mind, you can use 2 actions to move if you wanted to, and make a single attack to get near Taisho, if you wanted to.
Yeah, you could double move and then flurry of blows. It would still get 2 attacks in.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, alright, I'll do that. So I'll move up directly in front of me.
All right.
I don't know how to do that. If do you control that? Do I control
You
that?
can control it. Yeah, you should be able to drag your model around.
Oh, interesting. I actually got a really small screen, so I actually can't see very much.
Okay. No, I can move it for you if you like.
How do I change that sizing?
I don't know what you're seeing, so I'd have to troubleshoot it a little later on.
Okay, that's cool.
But that's okay. Is that okay for your movement?
Now I can't see where you are on the other screen. Let me just.
Question:
yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can. I'm moving things around.
No, that's okay. If you can see my screen as a reference for the map, if it's too small, then you can use that as well.
I can see that at the moment. Yeah, I was actually going to go 1 square down.
Yep, not a problem. Done.
Yep, there. Okay, so 2 moves and then a flurry of blows. Now, how do I do that?
All right. It is just your standard attack. So if you look on your character sheet, down on the bottom, there should be, like on the right-hand side, down the bottom, there's at the action tab. And then you should have your attacks in the action tab.
Yep, so it's just an unarmed attack?
Yes, it is.
So I just
There should be one for your mountain stance, which will also apply your mountain stance damage, I think.
Oh, okay, yep. So then I just what? Double click the.
Drag the dice onto the enemy you're attacking.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever the attack modifier you're using is, just pick up the attack modifier and pull it across to the Oni.
Then why is that not? Oh, that's because I can't see. That didn't work. Crap. Too many windows, and I'm not used to this. Sorry. Because I can't actually see where I'm standing in the.
Have you minimized the zoom window so you can see stuff on Fantasy Grounds?
Yeah, I'm on Fantasy Grounds. I'm sorry, technical issues because I couldn't use it before. No, all I can see at the moment is Liu, Kaito.
Oh, zoom out. If you use the mouse
out?
wheel.
Yeah.
Ah, I don't have to go on this. Oh, that's now I've gotcha. Right. How
Okay.
do you now? All these things you don't know. So now I have to drag that onto that, like that. Did that work? Yep.
Well, it hit him, so I'm going to say yes.
So now how do I get damage?
You pick up the damage box and drop it on the same guy.
Yeah, exact same way.
Where's the damage box?
It should be to the right of the attack box that you've made.
So where it says D8 plus 4.
Yeah, I just grab that and then do that, like that. Yep. Okay. Yep. And then what do I do it again, or?
Then you use the second one in your attack line, so the one that's a little bit lower.
Yeah, because it's the second.
Just
attack.
choose the middle one.
Yep. Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh. Right.
All right. So, as you've attempted to try and swat at him, your first of your attacks manages to hit. As this does so, you've sort of palmed the ink in the middle, and there's been this like ripple that has sort of expanded outwards from the attack, dealing 10 points of damage. However, your second attack, as you've gone to strike it, does not seem to have worked as well. In fact, you have critically failed, meaning you need to give me a number between 1 to 5.
3.
3. All right. 1, 2, 3. That is... Ooh, okay, that's interesting. Now, as you strike it, you are squirted in the eyes with a blinding blare of ink. You are blinded.
Oh, crack.
As this happens, however, I am going to play the plot twist card that we got courtesy of Laura Bones. Thank you, Laura, by the way. And that is the Lust card.
Of course.
As Hatsune comes and slams into the ink creature, you see the magistrate character, the dwarf, suddenly look in that direction. Well, well, well. What do we have here? A mighty dwarven warrior. He licks his eyebrows, which is, kind of like licking licking like two cats that are attached to his face, right? And thankfully, what he will do is he's going to disengage from Liu and Kaito. So he's actually not going to do anything in the next round, which sucks for me, but it's good for you, I guess. So, yeah, he sees the display of feminine strength, and he's feeling something. Look, don't blame me. Blame the audience. This is Laura. Laura did it. She had an out. She chose not to do it. All right. Hey, Hatsune X Caustic Phoenix. What's up? Hi, guys. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, X Caustic Phoenix is a wonderful streamer and fellow role player who plays with us on Sundays during our Rise of the Runelords game. In addition, Caustic Phoenix is currently one of the two massive brands behind the D20 Deathmatch channel. So I'm going to give you two shout-outs because you're that special to me, Caustic. First of all is, of course, for Caustic's channel where you can go and hang out and feed dogs. That is it, you know. Like, yeah, you know, Caustic does games and stuff like that, which is fine, you know, but she feeds dogs. That's it. And we love Chief and Bell. We do. And then, of course, I'm going to give you another quick shout-out for D20 Deathmatch. If you've ever wondered what it would look like if negotiations absolutely broke down and you had to beat the absolute crap out of your other PCs, then D20 Deathmatch is the channel you want to follow, where they just go around, beat the crap out of each other, and celebrities come and they do battle. It's amazing, and yeah, it's a wonderful show, so go check that out. For the people who've just raided in, guys, here's what is happening. Our group of heroes, including Hatsune, our dwarven sumo, Liui, our drunken monk Tengu, Kaito, our sorcerer Kitsune, and Taisho, our Oni barbarian, are currently trying to evade capture from the hands of the Oni Daimyo, an evil underworld boss that exists in the land of Goka, and they have managed to escape to a small tea shop run by Kaito's adopted father, a pangolin by the name of Yinlo. However, they have lured and drawn the attention of a ink-wielding magistrate, a tattooed guardian, as they are called, and he has summoned several tattooed Oni to battle against these guys to try and get them to be apprehended. They are, however, being very resilient and not wanting to be taken, and are currently engaged in a glorious battle with these inky foes. Any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you are here, be sure to check out all of the different ways that you can interact with the game, such as through donations or channel points. All right. Thank you to my wonderful players for being so patient. Taisho, it is now your turn. You are flanked from the north and south by two of these inky creatures. As I've mentioned, your saber is currently holding back one of these inky blades as it kind of tries to come down on you, while the other has sort of been attacking you from behind. You watch as Hatsune runs over and starts attacking the one behind you, but has immediately been sort of sprayed in the face with this inky blackness, blinding her vision. What do you do?
Right, I'm assuming that Taisho's back is now to Hatsune, but judging by the grunts and squelches coming from behind him, he'll assume that she's behind him. So there's, if it's possible to see, there's sort of this bloody grin that appears across his face.
Wait, did you just ask if the blinded sumo can see your bloody grin?
No. I'm assuming she can't.
Yes, no, she can't. Yeah. Good, excellent.
And I'm presuming nobody else can except the painted Oni in front of me. So he just grins this great big sort of toothy, almost manic, bloody grin. Says, "You're now dead," and simply will just slash at the guy in front.
All right, taking down your blade, it brings to bear this steel towards the inky monster as swing. It manages to hit a splurt of ink as you cut through its body. Roll your damage.
+1.
I also like how one of them is deaf, one of them is blind. We just need someone to run in there that's mute.
Yes. I will cut out someone's tongue, don't worry. All right, 6 points of damage as ink sprays everywhere. All right, that is your first attack. Now, in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you get 3 actions, so you've still got 2 more to go. What do you want to do?
He's going to continue slashing. At least until he feels that this guy is dead. The +1 from Kaito, is that only on the first attack, or do I still continue?
I think it is every attack that you make on your turn.
It's one attack, but you can choose it, so you could choose to apply it to this one.
Oh, it was?
No, I've already applied to the first one then. That's fine.
Also, welcome in Nat 21 Adventures with their raiding
is
party
that?
of 13. Just to cap you up really, really quickly, Hatsune, our dwarven sumo, Liui, our Tengu drunken monk, Kaito, our sorcerer kitsune, and Taisho, our Oni barbarian, are currently dealing with a group of ink-based Oni. So they're Onis made of ink stuff. They are currently trying to evade an evil warlord, and they're currently trying to be captured by this guy with a giant paintbrush. We're in a battle. If you have any questions, ask. Yay. All right. Sorry, we just had another raid. I do apologize. I would like to welcome you properly, but we're running short on time. So let's keep moving. Taisho!
Sorry, I used my javelin. I didn't want to use the javelin.
How many javelins do you have?
Well, I didn't want to use the javelin. I wanted to use the scimitar for some reason.
Oh, okay. You can
There we
swing
go.
again with your scimitar if you'd like.
I will use the scimitar, not the javelin.
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
You should have gone with the javelin. All right.
Should I go with the javelin?
All right. The Taisho, as you swing your blade towards the inky Oni, you not only miss, but you critically miss. In Pathfinder, for those of you who wish to know, a natural 1 and a natural 20 are a critical hit and a critical miss. But if you succeed or fail by 10 or more, that also counts as a critical hit and miss. So Taisho, pick us a number between 1 to 5 to generate our lovely crit fumble.
Well, I went with 3 last time, so let's go with 3 again.
1, 2, 3. Here we go. Okay. Awkward attack. You are flat-footed for the next round. So as you swing, you kind of overextend, and doing so, your saber lands, embedding into one of the barrels that are behind where this inky Oni happens to be. It makes you flat-footed as you try to free yourself. Now, the
You may want to
tattooed...
cash in that critical token and for a third attack.
I was about to say I have.
Oh yes, no, you got a third attack. My
thing.
apologies. Yeah. No, go. What's your third attack? Or third?
Well,
third
I was just thinking, could Taisho then? It's as the blade has come down in front of me. Could he then just use the momentum of said blade coming down to barge into this painted Oni and push him back?
Yeah. You can try a bull rush attack if you'd like.
Kind of okay. If I can do
Okay.
that, please.
You may. As you attempt to bull rush, however, now I need to find out real quick. I do apologize because I actually don't know the rule here. If Pathfinder 2nd Edition, bull rush is a provoking action.
I don't think there's attacks of opportunity in the same way.
There
so I think it
is,
should
or at
be.
least these guys have attacks of opportunity.
Oh, right. I take it back then.
Yeah, so I just need to find out if...
Yeah, like certain classes or races will give.
Yeah,
bonuses
correct.
like that. Yeah.
Okay, so I just need to check real quick if Bull Rush will do stuff. Inky Oni Onigiri. Say that 10 times fast.
That too.
Yeah. I'm surprised you said that
That's
perfectly
amazing.
the first time there.
Inky Oni
Onigiri,
Onigiri.
yeah.
Inky Oni Onigiri. Inky Oni Onigiri. It's very hard.
It's great in the mouth. Onigiri.
Yeah, it makes
Strange.
your mouth do some like weird.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to research this more later. I'm gonna say that it is going to not provoke an attack of opportunity because if I'm not gonna have the rules, I'm not gonna have it penalize the players. So, with that being said, for the time being, you can attempt a bull rush attempt with no penalty. So, make an athletics check as you hit your shoulders and ram into this creature.
Let's check.
Also, thank you for the follow.
It teetered on that 3 for a second.
It teetered on that 3.
It did. All right, let's see how this goes, though. Nah. All right. So you push it back by 10 foot. 5, 10. Bam! However, while you do push that one back, you will provoke from the guy behind you as you move away from him.
Okay.
So, as you ram your shoulders and hit this inky creature, it tumbles over the barrel, and the one behind you swipes at your back, but misses completely as you move away too quickly. All right, which then brings us to the Tattooed Guardian. 5, 10, 15. Oh wait, where'd the ink go? Did I get rid of the ink?
Grease. It
Yeah.
seems to have
Oh,
disappeared.
yeah.
Oh, that's weird. All right, well, the grease is there. I think maybe because I changed the color of my thing back. Maybe it...
Oh. Also, I was wrong. The DC is 18, so.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
well,
now it's blood. Oh,
blood.
geez.
Yeah, that's fine.
So graphic.
It's fine. All right. So, the Tattooed Guardian. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. moves beyond and past Taisho. And as he does so, this magistrate looks towards Hatsune and says, it is refreshing to see a dwarf who knows how to handle themselves. Allow me to introduce myself. Damn, I forgot his name. I made it up randomly. Rick, help.
Something like Utsembushi or something. I can't remember.
Umeboshi. Which is actually a type of plum, which is exactly what I'm going
Yeah.
to call him. His name is now Umeboshi.
He must be very sour.
Yes, he is. Yeah, there you go.
Very
I
sour
am Umeboshi. And what name has the great dragon from heaven named this radiant creature? I see that my beauty has you stunned, but do not worry. I am but a man, a dwarven man, standing before a dwarven girl.
Hatsune is just like stunned. You couldn't have stunned her with a hit, but being picked up in the middle of a fight, I mean, just it blows her mind.
Also, she can't even see him because she's still blind.
That's right, you're blind. You can't even see him.
She's like,
What the hell? What's going on? All right. By the way, this is also just for Stormfell, because we love Stormfell, and thank you for following. I thought you were a follower already. My feelings, but this is just for you. This is for you. Ready? I am Mojo Jojo, and the Powerpuff Girls will not get away with this. There you go. Okay, done. God damn
Oh
it.
my god.
Make it better.
Okay.
Doesn't make it any better though.
All right. He spends 3 actions. That's it. He's moved 3 times. Kaito, it is now your turn.
all right. Well, I am going to step over a little bit so I can get a good sight line, and I'm going to hydraulic push the Oni warrior that's in front of me. Even though it's not focus firing, but I can't really do it to the other one super well. So let's get this thing open here. See if I get him. It's not crit fail. Yeah, I finally didn't crit fail a spell. I'm happy.
All right. So as you you gather up your hands, this blue energy begins to create waves that ripple out from your fur. If you've ever seen fur when it's overladen with water, that's kind of like what begins to appear as you then launch this torrential downpour of water out of your hands towards the Oni in front of you. It is instantly destroyed.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. It is ink after all.
Yeah. Yep, you instantly destroy it. It wipes out.
The eraser.
Oh, this will be very convenient for later. Because I have a water cantrip as well.
By the way, the dwarf does notice when you do this, and he's like, might have to take care of that guy. All right. Actually, you know what? That's exactly what he'll do. He'll then go to the Onis, and he'll say, Hajime! And will point towards you. The Oni ignore everyone else. Now, unless someone has an attack of opportunity, they will all convene.
I have an ability that says that with it's called no escape, meaning that
Yep.
what is it called again? Ah, damn it. I keep pace with the retreating foe, stride up to your speed following the foe and keep it in reach throughout its movement until it stops moving, or you've moved your full speed. You can use no escape to burrow, climb, fly, or swim instead of stride if you have the corresponding movement type. So I
That's
basically
really
follow
cool.
All right, nice. So as the Oni begins to walk away from you, you immediately chase after him, following closely behind as three ink Oni now surround you, Kaito. All right, the first of the Oni swing down at you with a hit.
Oh.
For 7 damage.
Oh.
And a second attack, which will miss. So this blade sort of hits you in the back. You're kind of like covering your head, trying to protect your vital positions, as the third Oni moves up to you and does the same. But will miss with the first attack. And with the second, will hit. And yet again, another blow, this time at your ribs. You hear the sound of a rib popping as you're struck from the side. The last of the Oni arrive with what you can see Taisho kind of, you'll not get away from me! As he's piss bolting behind him. This Oni is... Uh-oh.
Oh, crap.
Ruh-roh. Is going to land a critical hit. And down you go. All right. Now, as he runs over to you, now this one had to double move, so it's actually not able to make another attack. But as this one hits you, I need you to give me a number between 1 to 5.
Let's do 5.
All right, with a 5. Crushed toe. You gain 2 clumsy and -2 land speed until you are healed. Which, I mean, that's just going to last until you get back up, so that's fine.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, basically, this one, as he sort of slashed into you, has, of course, also crushed your toe as well.
Ouch.
Yeah. And you know what? Just to add a little insult to injury, it's not your big toe, but slightly to the left of that is your second toe. That's the one that gets hit. And the location it gets hit is just on that little knuckle, just before the middle one. Not the big knuckle that's on the, but that little tiny knuckle. That's where he hits you.
Like foot pain is like my biggest weakness. Like even over like eye stuff, like damaging someone's feet, just that gets me so bad.
Oh yeah. And everyone knows exactly the pain that I'm talking about when you're thinking about
Oh,
that
yeah.
that injury. That's like the
Oh.
worst injury because you can't bend your
So
foot at
bad.
all, and yeah, it's awful. It's
Yeah,
awful.
it's
Terrible,
so
terrible.
nasty. I've broken a toe before too, so I definitely know how that feels.
All right, now, hey, unconscious dying dude. So do you remember that thing I said about you being doomed?
Hmm.
So let's fill our audience in on what being doomed means. So being doomed in this particular game of Pathfinder means that your dying value at which you die is now reduced by the doom value of your character. Our character Kaito has doom of 2. In order to die, you die at dying 4, meaning that him going unconscious right now, he puts him at dying 1, meaning that if he fails his next check, he will instantly be slain,
Hmm.
unless healed or otherwise propped up. All right, Liu, it is now your turn.
Well, I was going to move to a flanking position, but I don't think that's going to work anymore. I will just observe that I'm very glad to see that Tamaki's standing over at the back there, and I've never known Neil not to have a spare healing potion on him somewhere. just putting that out there for the GM to think about. I will attempt to feint and then flurry of blows the one standing next to me, and then I will think about the third action depending on what happens after that.
All right.
So that's 17 for the feint, I think.
17 will succeed. All right. Once again, swaying and twisting, rotating his body in awkward positions. Oh! You end up doing a handstand on one hand, and as you do so, the vision of the Oni immediately looks down to try and catch your gaze of your head, and you use that opportunity to use that downward momentum to plant your heel into the top of its skull, and as you bring it down, it just turns into a puddle of ink, just very nice. Very nicely done.
And so then with my third action, with that one disposed of, I will step around and present a flanking opportunity for Taisho, I think. So.
All right, very well. As this happens, we're going to go into a cinematic scene. As Kaito falls to the ground, immediately there is this low voice, what sounds like a whisper, but carried throughout the stone of the streets themselves. You hear just one word: enough. As this happens, suddenly the earth begins to shift, and you watch as 2 large stones begin to turn into large stalagmites that thrust upwards from the street, penetrating the hearts of both of the inky Oni. As it does so, they both immediately turn into puddles on the ground. You watch as the dwarf looks and seems to be enraged. He says, "That is not possible. You cannot stop this," as he takes out the paint and he begins to draw what looks to be the beginnings of a large Chinese dragon. All of a sudden, a sandstorm begins to blow outwards from the weirdest of all places, the tea shop. And as this sand begins to blow hard and fast, you watch as the sand begins to pick up and scatter the ink. The dwarf tries to cover his eyes, but the sand seems to bend around you. The old pangolin steps forward out of the tea shop, and as he does, his body, which was once crouched over with its hands held, suddenly moves and sort of straightens his back. As this does so, he reveals on his chest there's a tattoo, very similar in style to the tattoos, to the scroll insignias that you are given, except his insignia is the insignia of Earth. As this happens, he then begins to stomp on the ground. If you've ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, you kind of get what he's going with. As he steps on the ground and produces what looks to be a rock that floats into the air, he then unleashes a punch that sends the rock flying into the dwarf. He quickly draws the ink wall in front of him, which then gets shattered, but he manages to deflect the blow. Then, another. As he starts to launch them, the dwarf says, "This is not the last you have seen of me." He turns to the ground, running behind cover and drawing what looks to be a giant manta ray. As he does so, he begins to take to the air, flying on this kind of flowing piece of artwork. As that happens, quiet falls over the stall. The sounds of more grunts coming. Taisho leans down. Oh, sorry, not Taisho. What am I saying? Yinlo leans down and places a hand onto Kaito. Kaito, I would like for you to make a Constitution saving throw, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah.
What am I saying? Make a fort save.
Fort save? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Because that's what you do in this game. All right. With an 18, you manage to stabilize. And Yin Lo takes a deep breath. There is not much time. You must leave. I cannot promise you that you'll be able to find all of the masters. It has been many, many years since any of us were together. But I believe in you. I believe that now is the time for them to rise and help and stop watching from the shadows. As he does so, he turns and punches the wall behind you. And as he does, that wall just turns into sand. Go. Quickly. I will buy you time.
Wipe me my eyes and face, because I'm still blinded at the moment.
Oh, yes, of course.
I missed all the excitement. Well, no, I heard it.
Oh, you definitely heard it. I'll say that you kind of, while the sandstorm was happening, because you couldn't really feel the wind, that was your opportunity to kind of like, clear your eyes of that ink.
So I can imagine her face is all still inky, but there's enough removed that she can see.
Yeah.
Atsune will bow the penguin master. We will look after him. Farewell. And
All right.
start moving towards.
Does anyone want to pick up Kaito? You all just leave him behind. Are you forgetting something? Oh yeah, shit! Damn it! I promise we'll look
I
up.
was going to say that. I was going to say Taisho probably couldn't really hear anything. as
Oh
he's
yeah, that's
still
right.
very
You're
much
deaf.
deafened.
So all you hear is this.
So and you can't. Yeah, it's just ringing in his ears.
Yep.
But the fact that these huge pieces of earth just came sailing past him, he knew where they came from.
Yeah.
And seeing the wall disappear is like, okay, yeah, that's okay. I think you're leading me out. So what he will do is he will salute. He will stand very straight. Draw his shield across his chest, bring his scimitar round in a really very, very long a wide arc to his face as in a salute. And then we'll turn around, pick up Kaito, and walk out.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give a quick shout out to Robert Hartley! Welcome! Hello, my friend. How are you? How was your stream? I hope it was absolutely wonderful. I hope it was, even a fraction as wonderful as you are, my dude. Guys, if you have not checked out Robert Hartley GM, what are you doing with your life? Go check him out. He does a whole bunch of cool stuff. We have about half an hour left in today's stream, so do stick around, ladies and gentlemen. We have some pretty cool stuff landing in for you. So, again, for our third raid today, this has been awesome, but, let's keep this going. So, here we go. Let me try this. 1 second. Just to wet my whistle. All right, here we go. A group of heroes found in the Asian-themed city of Goka have managed to earn the ire of the Oni Underworld, a group of underground-dwelling fight club organizers. Taisho, the Oni barbarian, who formerly worked for them, is trying to root out corruption within the underground world. At least underground, corruption of the underground corruption, which is a whole thing. Yes. Kaito, our kitsune sorcerer, used to work for them as a broker who would try to find and grab fighters for the arena, of which he had recruited Liu, a Tengu drunken master, and Hatsune, a dwarven sumo. However, it turns out that the Oni daimyo was not pleased with Kaito and threw him and Taisho into the arena to fight alongside the people that they had found. After staging a daring escape, they managed to find their way to Kaito's adopted father's tea shop, his adopted father being none other than a pangolin. They were, however, not alone. A strange and tattooed dwarf by the name of Umeboshi managed to traverse and track them down, eventually finding the small tea shop with our heroes inside. And after a short but very brutal battle, the master had revealed himself as one of the 6 great elemental masters who will train our heroes in the future days to come to rise up against the Oni and fight against the evil forces of the Oni daimyo. He, of course, represented Earth, but there are still 5 more for the heroes to train with. They now bid a very tearful goodbye to their master as he buys them time from the people that are chasing them, and we will see what happens as the adventure continues. So, as you bid very respectful farewell, picking up Kaito and Tamaki running alongside you, you manage to escape through the wall that he has collapsed. Now, from here, our heroes begin to make their way far to the southern gates. These huge, arcing, red bridge gates seem to be the only way in and out of Goka. And several guards seem to be kind of, checking people as they come and go. It is not hard to leave the city. And should you choose to do so, you may escape into the countryside. Alternatively, you may try to find refuge somewhere else. The city is quite big, and there is much to explore. But it is up to you as to where you wish to go now that you have your mission to find the other masters and to undergo your own training. What would you like to do?
Guys, I think we can stop running now. But we need to work out where to go. Kaito.
Taisho continues running.
He's still unconscious. Liu will bend down and start rummaging through Kaito's stuff to find the 5 scrolls that were passed on to him by his master.
Taisho will continue running for a bit until he suddenly realizes that his compatriots are suddenly not with him, and will turn around to look at the four of you go and sort of yell, why have we stopped?
Liu will look at Taisho in puzzlement and go, can you hear me?
Taisho simply looks at you.
Alright, stop here. We need to work out where to go.
Oh, right. Yeah. That is a good idea. Perhaps somewhere to heal.
Well, maybe Tamaki, could you help with that? Maybe get Kaito back on his feet. It will be easier to get past the guard if we're not carrying an unconscious person.
And my ears.
Tamaki, maybe. He's not here, so I'm gonna just hijack his character super quick. He says, I am not a healer in any way, but perhaps there is something that we could do. He is going to attempt a medicine check to at least remove the deafness, which he does, but he cannot heal any injuries as of yet. So Taisho, as he sort of just starts clearing ink from your ears, he kind of uses rips up some of his cloth and turns it into like this kind of makeshift like ear swab. You kind of can start to hear a bit clearer now.
Yep. As somebody who suffers from that sort of thing, I know exactly how that feels like. It's not pleasant.
You're welcome.
Liu will start laying out the scrolls to see if they offer any hints for where the masters might be located, because at the moment we have no idea. Liu is quite taken by the idea of an air master, fairly obviously, so he's going to start with that scroll.
We should find a safe place to hide briefly, so we can look at the scrolls in peace.
Well, I don't know this part of town. Do you know a safe place?
The safest place I know would be at my stable. My master would look after us for a short time, as long as you don't get upset by by the other student. He gets a little bit sensitive. He's a bear, so not very many people come looking at my stable.
It has been a while since I fought a bear.
No, don't fight. No, don't fight. Don't fight, Poe. Don't fight. It's so beautiful.
Why?
Just don't eat his food.
It's a good way to test one's strength.
Oh, if you want to wrestle, yeah, he'd love that. He's training at the moment.
All right. Moving swiftly, you make your way towards the stable where Hatsune trains. It is not too far away, and you can quite clearly see up ahead a very old and disheveled gate. It blocks what looks to be a equally disheveled series of buildings that would have once housed maybe a good 2-3 dozen students, but now is empty and fallen into disrepair. As you approach the gate, a large lumbering figure makes its way towards you. As it does so, there's kind of this low-bearing snarl that seems to come from deep within the throat of what looks to be, as you have been informed, a bear.
Poe, where is Master? Poe, where is Master? Yeah, we need to come in and take some time. We have one of the fighters this thing is very badly hurt.
Bo kind of walks over and sort of starts to sniff at the people who have just arrived, specifically sniffing at the injured body of Kaito. As he does so, he then kind of licks Kaito's head, giving him kind of this little cowlick, and then turns and begins to walk back into the dojo.
Okay, you won't attack you.
That's comforting. When you said bear, I thought maybe you meant someone like the master we just left. No. That's just a bear, isn't it?
Yes, just a bear.
Yep.
Right.
There's this silly little grin that seems to have appeared on Taisho's face, and you could probably tell he's quite looking forward to at least trying to wrestle with this bear.
Very well. There is absolutely no anthropomorphized and you know what's really ironic is there's even no awakening or sentience to this bear. It is legitimately 100% nothing more than a wild, to boot, grizzly bear.
Taisho doesn't care.
Yeah. Okay.
Something to test his strength against. And he was told that this thing could wrestle, so...
Well, there you go. And just for the fun of it, because I can, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to... There he is. There he is. There's Bo. Bo the bear. Okay. So, as you make your way towards the larger of the buildings, there you can see an elderly man. It is a what looks to be what race was he? Do you remember? I think we hadn't determined. Did we?
No, we didn't.
Let's just say he is a human, but a relatively short human, with a very rotund figure. As he sort of sees you arrive, he's dressed in a blue and striped yukata. As he sees you approach, he kind of remains kneeling, but bows deeply.
Master, we're in trouble.
Aha. Already? But it is only gone lunchtime.
Master, we were set up. We were sent to be
Murdered. You can say it.
fodder for entertainment, Master, and they've hurt one of the. We need to go, but one of the fighters is badly injured, so we need to fix him and go.
This is unsettling news. He leans over and sort of rises very, very heavily. He walks over and places a hand on Kaito, at which point he breathes outwards heavily. And with a hand, Kaito, you are brought to 1 hit point.
Nice. He opens his eyes and looks up, still kind of dazed. He's like, "Oh, thank you, Master. I'm sorry. I need to get stronger." Not realizing that it's not, the Master that he thinks it is.
Yes, he says, I don't believe we've met, but I'm glad that you want to get stronger. He sort of
turns to Taisho to see how Taisho reacts to this.
Taisho is staring at the bear and is kind of oblivious to what's going on, and is trying to figure out how to approach the bear in a way that's, well, one, respectful, but also two, saying, "I want to fight you."
I want to battle you in honorable combat.
Yeah. Taisho's not exactly the brightest spark, so...
All right. Now, in order to keep us moving very quickly, you take a moment to inform your master of the events that had recently occurred, ranging from the Fight Club to, of course, the scrolls. He asks if he could see the scrolls for himself.
Yeah, Liu's happy to produce those. He's bundled them back up and kept them securely.
Taking them in hand, he begins to examine them very carefully. Each one seems to show a very strange series of movements that even your master, Hatsune, doesn't seem to be able to decipher. These movements themselves, they would be the equivalent of going on a diet and readily stretching and doing exercise. There is nothing overly complicated about any of these movements, and I believe that these are only but part of the full style that you would learn. I can tell you this. Each of these symbols bears a mark of this land and the people who live among it. He says, I have heard of this as a boy, pointing at the wind scroll. To the north of Tianjia, on the coasts of what would be the Songil Sea, is the Forest of Spirits, a place that lies between this realm and a mysterious realm of the kami and yokai. There, a person built a series of stone monoliths throughout the forest to ward people away, and it was this symbol, as a boy, that I saw along these ridgelines. Perhaps the master you seek may dwell within the Forest of Spirits.
Thank you.
Thank you,
That's
Master.
yeah. Slightly ominous, but it's the best lead we have.
Taisho is once Taisho's ears prick up from the when Hatsune's master starts talking about the various different scrolls, and he simply says, "What about the fire one?"
He looks at the fire symbol. He says, I do not recognize it. But when I studied many years ago, I was told to climb a mountain near here to the south. It is the mountain of the Dragon Temple. There, the monks taught me many things, and even claimed that once a dragon truly resided within that mountain. Perhaps they might know something of the Dragon Scroll and where one might find the master.
Where is this mountain of Dragon Temple?
He describes the... Okay, so here's the thing. The journey to the Forest of Spirits takes you to the north for what would be maybe 4,000 miles? The journey to the Dragon Temple is 500 miles, but through and up a series of very precarious mountains. If you follow the trade routes, you can go from Goka to Langkou, then down through the Silk Road into the region known as Quain, and then up the mountains through that side. That is the most common place to go if you don't want to cut through the mountains.
Kaito, who's now, more aware of the surroundings,
Yep.
just says that I'm interested in the water one, but at the same time, I don't mind visiting those other ones first.
He says, well, again, I do not know much about the masters of these scrolls. These symbols, again, still look very, very unfamiliar to me. But I do know that there are monks in a monastery in Minata, a series of islands down towards the south off the coast of Xiahui. There, if you search, I'm sure you may find answers as to who the master of water would be.
The 2 scrolls?
There are 5 scrolls. Air, fire, water, metal, and wood.
So what about the metal one, Master?
This one eludes me more than any. I knew very little of anyone who would know that, but perhaps some of the other masters may know.
Would make sense.
And wood?
Well, towards the south lies the Valshamai jungle. It is fraught and filled with a dense vegetation, Some say that the growth of the plant life there exceeds any attempt to expand. I know that the people who live down in the Nagajaw have become very accustomed to the way that they have to live with the natural world. Maybe there's some wisdom to be gained there.
Well, I think we should rest here and make a decision on which way to go, and then head off tomorrow and leave my master and Bo. I do not want to leave you, but if we don't go, we will inevitably make things difficult for you, master. You have to look after him. I cannot stay. They want to kill me. They will come and kill you too.
You watch as your master sort of chuckles and sort of smiles. He then sort of steps forward, Hatsune, and places a hand on your shoulder. He smiles warmly. And then suddenly, your feet sink into the ground. As they do so, you kind of instinctively raise your hands as your master has instructed you. And as you do so, there's just this sudden surge. You suddenly hold a massive weight on your shoulder. And even though your master is shorter than you, suddenly you get this visage of this like towering figure. And your feet begin to slip backwards as he walks closer towards you. You plant, you like your style is the mountain stance, the unmovable. You dig deep, your feet kind of crack the earth, and you watch as like there's these two railway tracks being dug into the earth as he sort of places you backwards and moves you over to where Bo is. As he does so, he then places his other hand on Bo and says, I am not an infirm old man. Your friend and fellow student wishes your company. And Bo can't stay in the city forever. Perhaps there is somewhere in the wild for him. Would you look after my other student? And he turns and he bows to you.
Yes, master.
Watching that, Taisho sort of mutters under his breath to Liu, maybe I should have wrestled him.
He then turns and he says, there are plenty of rooms. Please take one at your take one that suits your fancy. We have very little in terms of comforts, but I can assure you a warm dinner and full bellies tonight.
Liu will turn back to Taisho. Oh, on your head bed. I fear we are walking among true masters. I feel completely outmatched. Not for the first time, mind you, but I wouldn't want to wrestle him.
You too. But how can one grow except just to challenge those who are better than one?
Throughout the night, you spend your time resting. Your wounds stitch and mend. Taisho, there is a brief moment where you share an exchange with the master, and he doesn't want to wrestle you, but he does offer you a different exchange of strength. He presents to you what looks to be an iron bead. That is all. It is a perfectly round iron bead. You watch as he then, between his thumb and his index finger, crushes the bead into a coin. You then watch as with those same two fingers, he re-rolls it into a perfectly spherical and clean bead once again. He then hands this to you and says, when you have learnt the secret of this prayer bead, then I will accept your challenge.
Taisha Oh my god. Sorry, I'm just. Uh, Taisho is really becoming his own character right now, and he's going to be very dumb about this. So he's going to scoff. I go, oh, there's secrets, no secrets, and immediately try and start doing exactly the same thing as what the master did.
Cool. Make a strength check.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
All right. With an 18, it does not even bend.
Nope. Didn't think so. So there's this sort of this slight consternation as he presses down on this beat. Is like, huh. Maybe if I try.
Yeah, there's a few series of two-handed attempts. He bites on it a little bit. Like it's as far.
There's the push in the hand, push on the floor, stepping on
it.
He's
you
trying
get your
everything.
sword involved at some point. There's definitely some back and forth. Yes, yeah. Then it is the it is That's the whole thing, which is cool. I like that. All right, now here's what this is gonna do. As you guys rest and recuperate, you guys are going to get the following bonus. This is what I'm going to call, for the purposes of this adventure, a training feat. Every time you guys successfully manage to train or study with a master, you may acquire a training feat. Hatsune, you acquire the training feat Unstoppable Force. Unstoppable Force functions as follows. Anytime you succeed in a bull rush challenge against a target, you may immediately move them a distance equal to 5 foot multiplied by your strength modifier. So, if your modifier is a +5, you will then immediately move them 25 foot. That is before you add however much you then beat them by in the actual physical challenge. Now, of course, this does have a cap at however many move speeds you still have left as part of your actions. So, as part of the bull rush, you can move 25. If you've got an extra move action and you've made it further, you can go to the 25, to 50 foot, whatever. You excel at basically just shoving people quite far away, and that is your mastery. And we are going to call it. What's the name of the dojo? Do we give the dojo a name? We are going to call it. The dojo of... We're going to call it the Rolling... We're going to call it Rolling Stone. I like it. It's just... it's cool. Yep. The Rolling Stone dojo, and this is the Rolling Stone technique. So you have that as a permanent feature. Kaito, you've spent your life learning from your master. So the one thing that you have learnt is... basically a retreat. What you have the ability to do, whether or not you wish it, is you have learnt a way to absorb blows in the heavier parts of your body, such as the shoulder blades and the kind of like bicep area. As such, when you are knocked to 0 hit points, you may, as a reaction, drop prone to remain on 1 hit point.
Okay, cool.
So basically, this is just you absorbing a blow. And that is a technique that you have learnt. It is now, these are permanent, they are non-activational, they are all passive. And the point of this game, the point of this adventure is we are going to be going around meeting a bunch of cool martial art characters that is not going to only be inspired by you guys. We're also going to get some that are inspired by the audience and the Discord and stuff. And we're going to give you guys a bunch of techniques to then come back to Goka and beat the living crap out of these Oni. Sound good?
That sounds awesome.
That's good.
Sweet. All right. With that, I would like to thank everyone for today's session as we have come to its conclusion. Thank you to everyone who joined us from the raids. We hope that you guys had a good time. I know I did. It was awesome. It was great. Before we sign off again, guys, we are just going to very, very quickly have everyone share a memorable moment from today. Then we're going to go and take this raid somewhere fun. We're definitely going to go somewhere fun. So, let's see. Hatsune, memorable moment for today's session.
Oh, I'd have to say that the dwarven judge. Was that what he was called? Enforcer?
Oh, he was the tattooed.
In the middle of
He was the tattooed guardian was his official name, but now his name is Umeboshi.
Just the fact that in the middle of a fight, he's busy trying to pick her up. That just
Look, blame Laura for that. Laura is the one who threw in the lust card, and I was like, how the hell am I going to put in a lust card? He wasn't even a dwarf at the start of this fight, so you know.
well,
Yeah, thanks, Laura.
that was good. That was good.
Louis?
Look, there are a few ones today. I love the bear. I love Hatsuno's interaction with Bo. So the fact that he now looks like he's coming along for the ride, I think is awesome. The dwarven magistrate, yep, that was tops. And I think Taisho is developing in some really fun ways. I can sort of see him eventually picking up like a teacup and an iron bead as his emblems at some point down the track as he tries to work out what the balance is between strength and fragility, and I don't know, leave it up to him to decide where that winds up going. But I think it's really cool.
No, I think that's awesome. I also couldn't agree more. I think yeah, exactly as you say, the difference between Taisho as a character valuing strength and Taisho as a character who's valuing like grace is very cool. And I love that little bit with the pangolin as well, where Taisho was struggling with the teacup, and then the pangolin, who is like all scales and claws and stuff like that, isn't having any problem. I think there's a lot to be said about the martial prowess behind that. Not just how powerful he was, but that he was just so familiar with his body and how it functioned that he was able to not worry about that. So that was very beautiful, and I loved doing that with you, Taisho. I love that being a piece of the backstory and the character now, and I hope that it does keep going. Taisho, memorable moment for today.
Oh geez, yeah, just way too many, way too many. It's like the moment with the dwarf trying to pick up Hatsune in the middle of the freaking fights. And what's more is the fact that Hatsune was also completely blind, so didn't even know where the hell he was coming from.
Oh man, that was hilarious. No, that was really good.
It's just, and I am definitely feeling that Taisho he's very much moving away from me, which I'm really quite enjoying, and becoming a character becoming his own thing. And I'm getting the feeling that he's becoming a little bit the how do you call it, he's a little bit the comedy relief.
Yeah,
I'm starting to feel that he's a little bit the comedy relief, but also that he is completely unfamiliar in his own body, which kind of really harks into that sort of Oni aesthetic. So it's just and the fact that the pangolin is just this massively armored thing that Taisho kind of wants to figure out, try and fight as well, obviously, because it's Taisho.
Oh yeah, don't worry, there'll be definitely people for Taisho to fight, just not in the intro house. We'll get there. We'll get there though. All right, Kaito, last but not least, memorable moment.
Yeah, I just like how almost like the plot twist of, not the lust plot twist, but like the plot twist of how like Yan Lo was like, oh, he's actually like one of the elemental masters. Actually, it's like that was really cool, even though Kaito was unconscious, so didn't know or didn't get to see that, but. But yeah, but I just like that was kind of cool. It's like, oh shoot, he actually like, yeah, you alluded to the fact that he was strong, and then you showed that, yeah, how strong he actually was. It also makes me wonder how strong the other masters are too.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to make the sumo too strong, but I ended up doing it anyway, so there you go. No, it was very cool. And you know what? I loved the bit where Kaito did the water spray thing. Like, that was so cool. Like, just being able to and they were gone. And as soon as that happened, like, it's really cool because I love the start of games, right? Because for me, when you start a game and you're kind of, like, weaker, it makes it even better when you get to that point where everything is like now badass. And I could see Kaito going on that journey as well. Like, you know, how badly he's kind of been smacked around. He's been like picked on. He's been like the toady for like the underworld. And I can't wait for him to go through the training and then come back like even stronger. Like it's a story. It's a great story waiting to happen. So, All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all for coming and joining us today. I hope you guys had a great time. I know I did. If you guys liked what you see, then of course give us a follow. It costs you nothing. Just follow the channel, and then you get to know when I go on, and then you guys can come and be a part of all the adventures. Just like with this show, all the shows that are run by the Dead Aussie Gamer feature you, the audience, coming and playing around and making sure that things are fun. Things like giving Taisho our natural 20, which is still in play, as well as the Lust plot twist card. Stuff like that make these games so much fun. We are now going to go and raid Quincy's Tavern. Why are we going to raid Quincy's Tavern? Well, Quincy is a wonderful, wonderful TikToker. If you haven't gone checked out his TikTok channel, go check that out. It's freaking incredible. And of course, he's currently playing a video game called Lost in Random, which I'm very keen to try out. But more importantly, on the 10th of October, for Australians, and the 9th of October for our folks in the US, we are going to be doing a fundraising stream for a stream team fundraiser for me, Dredd, and Robert. So be sure to save the date, and Quincy is going to be coming and joining us for the adventure. So we're going to share him some love today. So check him out, check all his cool things out. Be sure to throw in all your Robert hearts, your dag raid emotes, do all the things. Until next time, guys, from me to you, as always, game hard or die trying. Bye, everyone!